Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching this out there on the World Wide Web. This is Jeremy Geelan for SYS-CON TV. We've snatched a quiet moment here at 10th Cloud Expo before the hordes arrive with Margaret Dawson from Symform. Any moment they may come in, but let's see. Cloud Expo New York we are in, all the way from Seattle, Margaret.
Yes,
what's going on with Symform and your various other hats?
Yeah, so great things at Symform. So we're actually a fairly young company, and it's our first Cloud Expo. As you know, I've been here many times with my other hats, but first time for Symform. And we are here to talk about how people can use the cloud for data backup and better data protection in a little bit of a different way, that they can actually get a lot of free cloud storage, which people like free. And how it works is they contribute some of their excess capacity with local storage that they already have, and in exchange get cloud storage in our peer-to-peer network.
Oh, I like this. It's a sort of mini SETI, but for private use.
That is a great analogy. It is absolutely a mini SETI, but for business use, and specifically small and medium businesses are who we're going after at this point, who already have, by the way, a ton of excess capacity just sitting on the edge of the network. We all use about maybe 40 or 50% of our computing, storage, server storage. It's all just sitting there unused because we buy enough to kind of handle that peak utilization, but then we never use it. So it's just being wasted. And this way you can actually leverage that investment you've already made.
And no problem with the conspiracy scenarios, the evil Symform coordinating the Chinese government to be on our laptops?
Great question. Yeah, so that's the first question is like, wait a minute, my stuff's going to be on someone else's computer, and then it's, wait a minute, someone else's stuff is going to be on my computer. So what we do to take care of that is, pretty cool military grade security stuff. So we take what is your original data, which only looks in its original form on your device. Right. So anywhere else, it's never going to be in that form. First, we chop it up into blocks. We then encrypt each block with its own encryption key, randomly generated, which is the most secure way, 256 AES, by the way. And then we take those blocks and we shred them further into fragments, and we add redundancy in. So 64 becomes 96, and those 96 fragments are then spread to 96 different points on the network.
I love this stuff.
Yeah, 138 countries right now.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's really cool.
That's pretty cool.
Very cool. So
and who's behind it, Margaret? Which genius is behind Symform?
So our founders came from Microsoft, and they looked at this problem about 3 years ago, and they wanted to do cloud storage and backup, and they looked at the cost structure, and something wasn't right, because you could go out and buy a 1 terabyte external external drive for about $100. Right now it's 2 terabytes, by the way, for $100. Right. But to put that same 2 terabytes or 1 terabyte in the cloud could cost $500 a month, or up to thousands a month, right? Because you're looking at 20 cents a gigabyte, 50 cents a gigabyte is not unheard of still today. And so that kind of economics just didn't make sense. Why would anyone use the cloud? And that's why cloud storage, especially for SMBs, has had very low traction at under 10%. And so what they looked at is said, okay, how do we get rid of that? Well, the cost is data centers. It's all the centralized infrastructure behind the cloud.
All this buildings and everything else.
Exactly, and power and cooling is very, very expensive. And so the only way to get rid of that cost is to do this decentralized distributed network where everyone's leveraging what's already there to create a peer-to-peer cloud network.
Why the name Symform? You see, that doesn't, I can't unpack that, so you have to do it for us.
Symbiotic, right?
Duh.
Formation, and it was also a 7-letter word which the domain was available.
Not least. Okay, oh God. I knew there'd be a complicated answer to such a simple question.
Yeah, no, simple. It's simple, it's symbiotic, so it's simple formation of a collaborative cloud.
So you've landed in yet another interesting gig, Margaret. Put on your sort of Margaret Dawson hat now. I mean, there you are. You're quite the progenitor of these cloud enterprises, it seems to me. You're always attracted to the next good one. How is it going with the cloud network, Cloud Now? Tell us a little about that.
So Cloud Now is the cloud network of women. And yes, I think what is awesome about cloud computing, and you know this very well, is that you can consistently kind of be on that next generation. And it's moving so quickly. And that's what kind of of wakes me up in the morning. I love that. And the Cloud Network of Women is a group of executive women who are in cloud computing companies or involved in cloud computing in some way, really trying to evangelize not only cloud. We have a lot of security experts in this organization. There ends up being a lot of women. I don't know why, but we've been in the network security and cloud space. And we're also trying to evangelize to younger women, mentoring them and getting more women interested in not only the technology industry, but specifically in cloud computing, and really recognize that there's a huge opportunity for women to not only be involved in technical roles, but business roles, marketing roles, and leadership overall, and that it's not just a man's world when it comes to that. And I think that we can make an impact.
Well, let's give people following this interview, Margaret, two routes then. One to connect with Symform, one to connect with Cloud Now.
So Symform is easy. That's symform.com, S-Y-M. Form.com. And then Cloud Network of Women is cloudnetworkofwomen.org. So yeah, please check them both out. That would be great.
Thanks so much, Margaret, for speaking with us, and thank you there for watching out there on the World Wide Web. It's Jeremy Geelan for SYS-CON TV saying goodbye from 10th Cloud Expo.
Cheers.